Good morning, everybody. Mike Wright, Edge Home Finance, coming to you on a beautiful Wednesday. Appreciate y'all being here. I have the pleasure of having a great friend of mine, Greg Schmidt from Exit Realty here as a Realtor of the Week, man. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, buddy.
Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Greg and I got to know one another by a tremendous friend of mine who has been on the show, Craig Nestor, and great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you ultimately end up getting to meet him?
So our regional owner, Bill Pankinen, made the introduction. Craig is the ultimate networker. He can connect you with, if you need something, he knows the connection. That's one of the things. I went to Bill with some questions, when I was opening my shop, my Exit franchise, and he said, you got to meet Craig. And so that we made the connection, and every time I'm ever looking for an answer, Greg's got it.
Well, and he, I've known him for a lot of years, and he pushes me, you know what I mean? And we're not even, in the same industry, but he is so motivating and has so much respect for you, that it's super, super cool. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, buddy. So tell us a little bit about how you got into this beautiful industry 17 years ago?
17 years ago. Yeah, so what led me down this path, I grew up in a construction family. My parents are custom home builders, and my thought and dream was always, well, I'm going to get my education, go to college, and come back and work in this construction business, which is great. I love housing, always have. Learned my work ethic from working with them, from little on, pushing a broom, picking up studs. Everything in between. I graduated college from St. John's University in 2006. And we all know how the market was looking at that point in time. Got my real estate license in 2007, but their business was moving the direction of remodeling. And for me, I really always loved being in the new construction, home sales, that kind of thing. And I knew that I was probably going to get my real estate license, not exactly sure what I was going to do at that time with it, but started working with investors. That obviously a lot of foreclosures coming about, a lot of agents leaving the business at that time. So I learned one thing, and that was how to work.
Yeah. Well, but I think that experience has gotten to have you be awesome the way you are now. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You've been through the thicks and thins. We've dealt with these hurdles, and you've persevered.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we've seen several market changes. We saw COVID.
Yeah.
At the start of that, nobody knew it was happening. All I knew is that a lot of my sellers, hit the pause on their home listing. They said, what's going on? Global pandemic. What are we going to do here? And, quickly adapted and realized, wait a minute, the market's going to go crazy.
Freaking smoking hot.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh?
Yeah.
I know.
Like nothing any of us would have ever expected.
Well, and maybe it was everyone having to be stuck at home. I'm just saying, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we need a bigger home, So do your parents are they still in the building world?
They do, yep. They build a couple homes a year, do some remodeling.
What's a custom home or what? What's the name? Give them some promo.
Yeah, absolutely. Schmidt Building and Development. They build largely out of the Belle Plaine area. So Southwest Metro. Build a handful of homes a year, do some remodeling, kitchen remodels, additions, things like that. And that's fun. It's been fun seeing his business grow and prosper over the years. And more lately, he's slowed down a little bit on the number of homes he builds. He used to do a lot more, but has some building lots available down there yet that he, again, builds a handful a year and really enjoys what he does. It's the craftsmanship piece of it for him at this point.
Well, but I think that is so cool because you grow up in it, right? I mean, I've tried to get my kids to get into this business, and they're like, oh, sorry, Pops, we're good with a good corporate, steady up, because it takes a different breed to be a commissioned person.
Absolutely, yep. Well, and a business owner, someone, an attorney one time told me, he said, I appreciate when I'm working with individuals starting businesses, LLCs, he said, you guys are the last ones to eat. Everyone gets paid first. And, I think in real estate, every realtor for that matter experiences that, you're running your own business.
Yeah. Well, and that leads us into a little bit, you got some incredible mentors, Bill, who will be on in a couple weeks. Next week he's coming in, so we'll be posting his deal here in a couple weeks. Bill Packinen, who is an incredible man. Craig,
absolutely.
have you fed off these guys a lot, or who are your go-tos?
Oh, absolutely. I talk with Bill regularly, his son Cade as well.
Yeah.
They both work at the regional level for us here, right in Minnesota. So I've got great access to him. I'm blessed to have that. I work with a coaching company, Workman Success Systems. I love what they do. I've got a great coach there. She is, when I picked a coach to work with, she was where I was 10 years ago.
Yeah, good.
And so it's really fun to be able to, share a lot of the hurdles we see every day. And she's been there already,
Right.
and granted, today we're seeing new hurdles, but it's nice to have the resources to bounce things off of and say, all right, well, what do you see happening in your market? What do you do? And she's in a totally different market.
Where's she at?
She's out east.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun, the
Tough market, yeah,
Yep,
sure.
absolutely.
So how often, when you have a coach, mentor, are you leaning on them?
For me, I like to do weekly calls.
Yeah, good.
Yep. There's always a topic, whether it's just purely, hey, how was the hunting this week? Bill's a big hunter.
Yeah.
It's always
Yes, he
fun
is.
hearing his stories there. But if nothing else, we're talking weekly. We're looking at really what we're seeing happen in the marketplace. And Bill and Cade, their region has grown so much. I mean, heck, they're all the way out to Colorado. And it's really fun to hear what's going on in other areas of the country, because whether that's here or not yet, it's coming.
Yeah. Well, and I know he's up in Duluth now.
Correct.
Even that Arrowhead region compared to, here. But your company is growing
Tremendously.
like crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a good sign. How did you, what made you ultimately decide on exit? You had a million different companies, all of them picking at you because you're good,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. No, when I was looking, so I've been at a number of different brokerages, large and small. I started, a long time ago, or years back, I did have a independent brokerage. And that was after I was in the business for 3 years, got my broker's license. And, at that point in time, the industry was changing. We were seeing a trend towards some really impressive technology. And as a small independent shop, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was really hard to, compete with some of the bigger brands. And so I, moved around a little bit, tried some different brokerages, some different things, and learned a lot. When I got the entrepreneurial bite back, the bug comes biting. I was looking at all the brands. Where do I want to fall? And there were some key goals there. One of them is being, support. And every company totes, yep, we've got resources, we've got training, we've got support. But I was looking for more than just a video online.
Yes. Yes.
Or a webinar. I was looking for good people that stand behind us, have been in the shoes, have sold. When I look at for everything from the regional to the corporate level and all the resources we have here at Exit, and also the willingness for the other brokers, realtors, and everybody in between, just willing to help. We have all sorts of different forums that we can jump on and connect with people that are doing and experiencing the same things we are right now. And that to me is so critical. And beyond that, too, just looking for a company that supports their brokers, their agents, and again, just connection, looking for, I don't want a virtual world. I want brick and mortar. I want people that I can sit down with, and events are so big at Exit as well. That bringing people together post-COVID, getting them out, that's what it's all about.
Well, and I can't, agree with you more. Part of the reason why I love coming to the office is I have guys like Jake, Tom Ollis, Sid Larson, who are just the cream of the crop, Andy Torino, who are just top-notch guys, right? And you feed off them. You have that ability at that company, and I think that when you start to get larger companies, you may just become a number.
Totally.
Whereas you'll never do that at that company. Exit's amazing operation. Mm-hmm. So obviously you're good, maybe borderline great at what you do. Craig says great, but
I'll take it.
Yeah, you owe him 100, by the way.
There we go.
But how do you take that next step? How do you become, where do you, like the book says, where do you go from good to great? What more do you have to do? Is it, building a team? What is it that you want to do?
For me, there's a lot of answers to that one, but for me, what that really means is staying ultra customer focused. What is it that the consumer wants? We have a feeling as agents as to what we think is best for our business and whatnot, but I really think staying customer focused. And then as far as going from, let's just say you feel you're peaked at 35, 40 transactions a year as an agent, and doing that amount of business is a lot. To try to be able to manage it and provide a high level of service becomes difficult. And that's, again, focusing back on what is best for the consumer, what's best for our buyers, our sellers, and that's having good people around you to support you if you really want to grow your business, to be able to replicate yourself in a sense, and have the resources available to you to be able to continue as you maybe progress to, let's just say 100 deals a year, 100 transactions, helping 100 families, and be able to deliver it as good of service or better. And for me and my team and growing my team, it's to have those resources and good people.
The Bethany Nelson had said it's almost like having a board. You need your board of directors where you're the president, and then you've got your title, you have your inspector, now you got the best lender in the world.
Yep.
And, but you need that team around you, because it is way more than just a paycheck. And I think that you told me this, where it's not about the paycheck. The paychecks come when your customer service is there. Absolutely. And you close happy people.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's, for me, it's fun. It's not just any one transaction. What I'm looking at is the long-term relationship. There's so many where I become the family realtor, not just their realtor, and that's really what I'm looking for. Those long-term relationships and providing value after the close. There's so many, whether it be lenders, agents that just disappear. They never hear from them again, and hopefully next time they want to buy or sell, they reach out to me. Well, no, you got to level up.
I love that level up. I think that's so critical, because I think the other thing is the dialing to those people, because it's tough out there with this market right now. There's a lot of hungry people that will grab your people if you're not knowing and stay in contact with them. Correct?
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Has the family business helped with that? With your building process, people build with your father, moving at some point. Are they, because you stay in top of mind with them? Are they reaching out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Good.
It's again goes back to the fun piece of it, getting to know the families and help them with their hurdles. Everyone's got a challenge that keeps them from maybe making that perfect move. And I think coming in and not just being a door opener, but rather being that person that sits down with them, here's their struggles, here's what's preventing them from maybe being in that perfect place, and helping solve those problems, connect the dots. Hey, pull the Craig and have those resources available to make their life easier.
Well, and I think the coolest thing about all this stuff is your personality is warm, right? And I think that there is a difference between people that come on here and all they want to do is social media, all they want is text, etc. But your talents with your experience goes well beyond that.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. There's the tech piece is there. Like I mentioned before, one of the reasons I landed at Exit is the tech's phenomenal, but it doesn't mean anything unless you can make human connection.
So tell me, so you're individual. Do you want a 10-person team? Where do you see yourself being?
Yeah. So, right now where I'm at, we've got the franchise. I've got myself, including myself, we have 9 agents in our brokerage. I've got my sales team there. It's myself, Heather Barker, who recently came on board as well, and she's phenomenal. She's been an agent for 3 years, and great skills, great communication ability, and that was one of the things that I was really looking for and trying to kind of have somebody be my right hand, and she's phenomenal in that. So really where I'm looking to go with this, my own personal sales team, I really love to see us get to 100, helping 100 families a year.
Yeah.
And that's very obtainable in the next few years. I do believe with the pieces we're putting in place. From a brokerage standpoint, we would like to increase our head count. I'm looking to be at, in the next 5 years, around 20 to 25 good producing agents, and that seems like the sweet spot that we can support really well, give the resources, the training that they need to really be exceptional and take their business to the new level.
How do you balance business and pleasure?
It's a challenge.
It's because I know, right? I got a text at 11 o'clock last night, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to look at that and not go, oh my God, where you start a conversation, next thing you know, at 11:30 at night, you're wide awake going, okay, great.
I got to work tomorrow. Yeah. Well, and so I've got 3 young kids at home.
Yeah.
And
what ages?
I got 10, 8, and 5.
Oh, yeah.
So they're active. 3 girls, they're awesome. And so that's been a transition for me. When I first got into real estate 17 years ago, I was a single guy that could just do whatever I needed to do, work 100 hours a week or whatever that looked like. And as the family grew, I had to change my way of doing things. It's setting boundaries, setting expectations with your clients. There's things that need to be dealt with now, but there's also things that can wait till morning. And I think setting those expectations right away, and also just with experience and having a plan and a strategy to your business, you can set yourself up to combat and foresee things that maybe would come up and head them off.
Do you share that with your clients? For example, a good realtor that we had on here as well said on his voicemail, he very clearly says, I don't work Wednesdays. You can text me, but no, this is my family day. Do you communicate that initially with your people so they know what expectations to have?
I myself, I don't. I do let them know usually in the first initial consult that, I'm usually available until, let's say, 7 o'clock at night. Sellers and buyers, it's a little different, but and if don't get me wrong, if we're negotiating an offer, sometimes we go into the wee hours. But I do express that usually I like to try to, unless it's an urgent need, by 7:30 at night.
You had family.
Yep, family and that sort of thing. So it is a tough area to navigate, and it's something I'm still working on, because for me, I'm driven by helping people, and it feels good to help them get to their goal. And so for me, sometimes it is hard to say no, but I'm getting better at it with time and just, again, being better organized. But yes, to your point, I do set some boundaries. However, I haven't gone as far as saying this is my day off yet.
Yeah. No, and that's good. And I think that's a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Knowing I've got 3 grown kids, the time you spend with them, with the kids at your age, you'll never get back.
Yep.
So never, family first. And as hard as it is, it's okay to escape for an hour or two to be at coach or do whatever the case may be, right?
Oh, it's a blast. I love it.
Yeah.
My oldest, I'm an assistant coach on their basketball team.
Nice.
Did that the last 2 years. I'm going to do that again this year. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Good for
that's
you.
the benefit of, like you said, this business. You work a lot of hours, but it does offer you some flexibility. So I can grab that hour and say, that's my hour that it can't be touched. That I'm going to do that coaching.
Here's the other thing too, is those events, there's also 15 kids there with parents.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Not saying they're clients yet.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not by luck that my hat says Exit North Star Realty.
Yes. I like it. So we've got a couple of these letters that are so new to us right now. AI. Where do I look at it, and I talked to my son about this, because way back when social media started, Mike Finley, a great friend of mine, came and said, you got to get active in this social media. And I'm like going, nobody's going to be using this stuff, right? Well, lo and behold, here we sit.
Yeah.
Do you see AI replacing you?
Replacing, no. Our business is so complex. If it was a pure transaction, let's look at Amazon. You're going on there, you're buying a computer, a TV. We can be that position can and has been replaced. Sorry, the Kmart's I heard the last one's closing now. The retail store. Now buying a home, it's so different. On the way here, I had a call from an agent that was helping me out with a walkthrough. They found a little moisture in a corner.
Yeah.
In a basement that wasn't seen at the inspection. There was a giant TV there. Okay, well, now as agents and good agents, we've got to step up and say, okay, what do we do about this situation to best represent our buyer in this case? Maybe we got to get an inspector back out there. All these things. There's any amount of moving parts. Or on the loan side, how many times have you been a couple of days before closing or an hour before closing, and all of a sudden there's something that comes up?
Zero.
Perfect. All right. Hey, awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
My nose comes like this deal, little Pinocchio.
Like
but I agree 100%.
The personal piece of it, and really, again, going back to, like I said before, getting with them and helping them figure out how to, it's not like as simple as just buying a new car. You bring your old car to the dealership, trade it off, and it's their problem now. A move is big, especially when you have a family or generational situation where you're moving maybe 2 generations from one house to another, or splitting into 2 different houses. I mean, there's so many complexities to it that, it's more than just flipping a switch. You gotta build that out.
I agree. Divorces, it's such an emotional deal. And I think that you had mentioned this earlier, communication. Yeah. Right? It's just not punching in saying, I got moisture in the corner, It's an emotional deal. People freak. And, usually there's 2 different personalities, husband, wife, right? Plus you got kids, etc. So I don't disagree with you. I think that it can be a tool.
Absolutely.
Right? But I'm not convinced. I think we need to know about it. It's not going to replace either you or I. So with that being said, what advice would you give? We got a lot of people that are 18, 19, 20, new in the business. Mm-hmm. Some are going, oh, this commission thing is no big deal. Let's just, continue on as we always have. What advice, give me 2 or 3 nuggets that Bill, Craig, you being experienced, would share with people.
Stay client focused. What is best for your client with all this? There's a lot of opinions. Many different brokers are doing different things. Back when all this rolled out and we realized we were going to have some changes coming, especially after March, I've been saying the second half of this year is going to be a bit of a mess. And I'm not saying it's a complete mess, but there's definitely a lot of different brokers trying different things and seeing what models work. And, as far as advice with it, I mean, for me, it's, again, going back to what is best for your client. I could speak for an hour on this topic, and I usually do when my agents get me going.
I love it.
But really staying focused on who you're representing. And, in the past, again, I go into this on every listing presentation. Here's what happened in the past. Here's why it was done that way. Here's the rules have changed. We get buyer agents have to get into a contract right away before showing. And what does that mean? And the other important thing to remember about that is an agent can't be paid more than what's on that line.
Yeah.
So now, what's the conversation look like on this with the seller at the listing appointment? Do you set a commission at that appointment that you're offering? Does that make sense? I'm not going to say whether one or the other is the right way, but I know where my brokerage and myself are going with that, and I think putting choices in our consumers' hands is important, and that's what this lawsuit was all about.
Education is key, right? Yep. And I think that it's easy to become flippant and arrogant, and it's my way or the highway. But I think your talents of keeping the client's needs and wants top of mind are critical. Because Absolutely. Like you said, there's so many different situations and why people do it, but they're big numbers. And I don't care whether it's a $200K place or a $1.5 million place. They're big numbers.
Yep.
And there's big emotions and it's packing, etc. So I appreciate you sharing this stuff with me, man. Craig, I asked him, I said, who should I have on? It took him literally like 2 seconds to say, boom, get them on. You know, I'll get it lined up for you. You gave me the warm intro, so thank you very much for that. And I appreciate you coming on as our Realtor of the Week. Greg Schmidt, Exit Realty, and your wisdom is incredible. And I'm proud of you for your taking the family business, absorbing that, but then taking this whole world of real estate into your hands.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun getting and talking with professionals that really take their business seriously.
Yeah.
And fun sharing ideas.
Well, I think like-minded is critical, because client-first mindset, communication, education is all I've heard from you. You know what I mean? And I love that because that's how I've survived 30 plus years, and you've survived, and I look forward to the years to come.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend. I
Hey,
appreciate you
welcome.
tremendously, and appreciate you coming on as a Realtor of the Week.
I appreciate you having me again. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Do you want to write that all down?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, you say it at the end of every.
I know. Can I clip it? Can I add it? And then
Yeah, you
okay.
can.
Okay. Hey, by the way, you guys, thank you very much for coming on. Obviously, we've got approaching 1,000 people in Realtor Connect. That means tremendous amounts, but you guys are learning from the best in the industry. And we appreciate you tremendously. Also, those on YouTube and Instagram, it's Realtor of the Week. And we appreciate your support. If you know any realtors that want to come on or be part of the group, we'd be honored to have them. Thank you very much, and have a great week.